There's a reason people are buzzing about You Me and Tuscany, the 2026 romantic comedy that's already being hailed as the genre's long-awaited return to form. After years of rom-com drought, audiences are finally ready to come home to the kind of films that made us fall in love with love in the first place. Charming, fun, irresistible stories where the joy of romance isn't burdened with social commentary or existential dread. And the truth is, we didn't lose the classic rom-com overnight. Its disappearance wasn't sudden. It eroded slowly over a decade or more, a perfect storm of industry, cultural, and economic shifts that pushed our beloved genre off the big screen. Let's rewind and take a clear, simple look at when and why the golden age of rom-coms faded. The peak era stretched from the 1990s to the mid-2000s. This was the time when movies like Pretty Woman, 1990, While You Were Sleeping, 1995, You've Got Mail, 1998, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 2003, and The Proposal, 2009, dominated theaters. These films weren't just popular, they were cultural touchstones. They gave us that intoxicating mix of charm, humor, and that thrilling sense that love could sweep you off your feet. By 2010 to 2012, though, the genre's box office power was fading fast. By around 2015, the classic theatrical rom-com had all but disappeared from major studio slates. So why did it happen? First, there was the end of the mid-budget movie. Classic rom-coms typically cost $20 to $50 million, too big to be cheap, too small to be a blockbuster. Studios realized they could either sink $150 million into a superhero or franchise film that might make $1 billion, or spend $40 million on a rom-com that could maybe earn $100 million if all the stars aligned. Shareholders, naturally, preferred the guaranteed juggernaut. The middle tier of movies where the rom-com lived was effectively killed off. Then there were cultural shifts, most notably the rise of dating apps. The stories rom-coms relied on, chance encounters, miscommunications, voicemail tag, anonymous meetings in coffee shops, suddenly felt old-fashioned. Modern dating is built on hyper-choice and instant access. The classic engine of romantic comedy, missed connections, fate, small misunderstandings blossoming into love, was replaced with swipe-right immediacy. Star salaries became another barrier. By the late 2000s, stars like Julia Roberts, Sandra Bullock, Meg Ryan, Jennifer Lopez, Hugh Grant, and Matthew McConaughey were demanding $15 to $20 million per film. If your movie only made $80 million at the box office, it simply wasn't financially viable. Studios decided pragmatically that if they were paying $20 million, it should be for someone in a superhero suit, not a coffee shop and a sweater. Formula fatigue and shifting audience tastes didn't help. The classic rom-com structure, meet cute, misunderstanding, third act breakup, dramatic airport run, started to feel predictable. Audiences wanted more realism, complexity, and messiness. The genre pivoted into dramedies, bittersweet romances, trauma-focused love stories, and unconventional situationships on film. Think La La Land, 500 Days of Summer, Her. Love was now complicated, and the movies reflected that. Streaming further shifted the landscape. Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon rescued rom-coms from the grave but took them out of theaters. People love rom-coms, but not necessarily $17 ticket and parking love. Rom-coms became comfort food, perfect for watching in bed with a blanket and a tub of ice cream. Suddenly, light, charming romance belonged to living rooms, not box offices. Films like To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Set It Up, and Always Be My Maybe proved the appetite was still there, but theatrical rom-coms were sidelined. Franchise culture also took over. Studios chased the next Marvel, Harry Potter, Fast and Furious, or Hunger Games. Rom-coms don't have sequels, spin-offs, or merch lines. They aren't expandable universes. So they got pushed aside, quietly but decisively. And yet, hope has returned. Slowly, the genre is clawing its way back. Crazy Rich Asians, 2018, reminded us that a big-screen rom-com could still work. Ticket to Paradise, 2022, brought the old-school vibe with stars audiences adored. Anyone But You, 2023, offered a fresh, goofy, sexy update for a younger generation. And movies like these succeeded because, fundamentally, audiences crave a return to classic rom-coms. We want love stories that are fun, relatable, charming, and heartwarming. Movies that don't lecture, moralize, or critique us while we're just trying to escape. Which brings us back to You, Me and Tuscany, a film that perfectly embodies everything we've been missing. The story follows Anna, a young woman who impulsively travels to Tuscany after a chance encounter with a charming Italian named Matteo, who owns an empty villa. Hoping for adventure, she decides to stay at his villa without permission, but her plan to be a squatter goes hilariously awry when Matteo's mother arrives, prompting Anna to pretend she's his fiancée. From there, the story spirals into a delightful tangle of lies, adventure, and romance. Anna finds herself drawn into the Italian family's loving embrace, a temptation all the more potent because she has no family of her own, and discovers that pretending to be someone she isn't becomes even more complicated when she develops a growing attraction to Matteo's handsome cousin. The plot is playful, flirty, and full of heart, the kind of escapism and joy that classic rom-com fans have been aching for. What makes this film likely to succeed is exactly what made the Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell movie resonate with audiences. It reminds us what we've been missing, a return to the classic rom-com spirit. Deception may happen, misunderstandings may abound, but the ending is hopeful, inevitable, and heartwarming. Love itself is profound enough. The film doesn't need to try harder than that. And in a world where rom-coms have been absent from theaters for over a decade, You, Me and Tuscany feels like homecoming, a long overdue revival of a genre that once dominated hearts and box offices alike. Finally, the big screen rom-com isn't just alive. It's back, beautiful, irresistible, and exactly what we've been waiting for.